everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. Today's guest, you can see it on the shirt. He is the one, the only, Boston, Mass. My friend, Jose Raymond, joining us today. How are you, sir?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
It's been too long.
Yeah.
I want to start off because I haven't talked to you since the hip surgery. You had one hip replaced or two?
Just one. Yeah. The other one's going to get done eventually, but I'm good for now.
I mean, I saw not long ago on your Instagram stuff, you're deadlifting, you're squatting. It looks like you're doing everything now.
Yeah, I'm moving pretty well. I'm strong. I never really lost strength. It was just I had to wait to, get the flexibility, range of motion back, and now I got it. So I'm very strong. My legs aren't any different in size, right to left, not much anyway. And I'm looking forward to getting back into full speed.
So that's the next question. Come back. Are you going to come back?
I mean, I'm going to be 45 in a few months. I don't know. I wouldn't come back just to come back. I would, if I train for 4 months and I look as if I could be competitive, then sure. But, that's not the first objective on my mind. Right, I just want to get back to training hard again and feeling good, as if I could. Yeah. And if I could, maybe I would. I have nothing planned though.
I mean, that was the first Olympia 212 that you've watched.
Yeah.
Probably ever, right? You competed in all of them. You never got to sit there and watch.
No, 10 years. First time in 10 years that I haven't been there.
So what was it like sitting in the audience, sitting in the press pit, wherever you were? I don't know where you were.
I wasn't in the press pit. I was home.
Oh, you were home. You weren't there because I was looking for you. I was like, he's got to be here somewhere because I always miss a few people.
Yeah, okay. Well, I would have seen you.
Okay.
No, my dog was really sick at that time, and I've been just really busy with life, and I can't afford to miss. If someone had flown me out there and paid me some money, sure. I would have gone maybe.
Yeah.
Even though I really couldn't, because at the time my dog couldn't walk.
Yeah.
So I had to walk him. He's 150 pounds.
Yeah. For people that don't know.
Yeah.
We both have dogs named Chewy. Mine just went to the vet. It was 10.6 pounds. Yours is over 150.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's almost 11. He'll be 11 in a few weeks. So he's an old dude for a big giant breed. And I just couldn't leave him. So, it was my first time not being there. I did watch closely everything. And I was on the phone with people who were there. And, I was up all night watching the webcast. And, it was tough to watch. It was weird. It was a weird experience. First time in my life that
you've never got to sit and watch an Olympia where you could say, this is how I think I would have placed. Because you've always been up there battling on the stage with these guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know you had to be watching the webcast and going, I could be him. And where would, at your best, and you've been damn good many times on the Olympia stage. You were second place once. You were third a couple times. At this particular Olympia, where it was Kamal, Derek, Sean, where do you think you would have fit into that? Possibly.
If I was at my all-time best, we'll say 2015 Olympia, okay. I think I could have won.
Yeah.
Because I would have been bigger, just as hard, just as conditioned, top to bottom, Yeah. But, my last few Olympias, Kamal beat me last year. I would have assumed if I looked like I did last year, I would have made top 5 again.
Yeah, obviously no worse than top 5, obviously.
No, I wouldn't think, but it's hard to say. They're doing some funny things. I personally would have had David Henry in the top 5, and he ended up 11th or something.
11th, I mean, I agree. I was scratching my head. He was not. I've seen him sharper from in the hams and the glutes before. He wasn't the best Dave Henry, but he was still pretty from the front and the side. He was pretty much spot on.
Yeah, I didn't understand that, but and that's what worries me. Sometimes I think they get sick of you, and if you're not 1,000,000% spot on, then they're gonna punish you, and that's kind of what happened, I think, and it certainly could have happened to me too if I had continued to compete.
Yeah, I said that on the MD forums. I said they were asking. There's a thread about David Henry, like what happened to this guy? Why'd they do this to him? I said I don't think it's like on a conscious level, but I think on an unconscious level, if I'm a judge and I've seen this same guy 100 times and he always looks the same and now he looks maybe a little worse, I'm like, I'm done with him. You know?
Yeah.
And
I mean, I think it's his 14th Olympia or something.
probably.
And I didn't think he looked that bad. I wasn't there. But from
He
what I
looked really, I tell you, from the front, probably right up there with the best or very close to it. It
yeah.
was just a little bit in the glutes and the hams. And we saw some guys that were placing well, certainly some guys that placed ahead of him that were much, much worse condition wise.
Yeah, I would think so. So
Oh.
it is what it is.
How'd you see the top three though?
Oof. I agreed with it. I could have even had Clarita in second.
Mm.
You know, that said, Derek is awesome. Derek can be unbelievable. What people forget is he's so young, and all that muscle, he's put on like 50 pounds in 4 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And it's not going to be matured like a Kamal, who's, 46 years old, 47 years old. It's not going to look the same. And, wait till, if he keeps it up, when he's 30, he'll be damn near unbeatable.
Yeah.
But right now, he's still got that veal type of muscle. It's fresh. It's the shape of it is incredible. And, I feel bad for him because there's so much hype and he has a right to be confident. But I think social media has built him up so much that anything less than a loss, anything less than winning was a severe letdown. And, he'll get his day. He's going to be awesome. But I just think something, I don't know. I kept seeing him eating hamburgers and shit the last few days. I don't know. I don't know what he does for his prep.
Yeah.
And I don't know what his specifics are,
right.
But he could have been better. He could have been a little drier. He looked great from behind. His hams, glutes, back. From the front, I just think he needs time.
Yeah.
But, how can you argue he's second in the world 2 years in a row?
Yeah. 26 years old. And like you said,
yeah.
his first NPC show was only, I think, 4 years ago.
Yeah, he was a welterweight.
Yeah, yeah.
So
like 50 pounds of muscle.
Yeah. It's crazy. There's no way you can put on 50 pounds of muscle in that short a time and it look like granite, like, like a Kamal, like even a Clarita. Clarita's put on, 30 pounds in 15 years.
Yeah.
That there's a big difference. So his is all rock hard. And he looked like a granite little, statue. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I would not have had any argument if he won or was second or, that was very impressive.
I don't know if you saw there was the thread on him on MD, and Goon suggested a new trainer for him. And I'm not agreeing with this because I know Derek's trainer, James. I like him a lot. He's a good guy. I don't know necessarily that he did anything wrong with him, but Goon suggested you as his coach, which I thought just kind of random to throw that out there. I know you're a great coach, and you're a 212 champ, so I could see the connection. But
I don't know. I don't know James at all. I met him once, I think, and I don't know what they do. It would be like, me saying a tall guy should coach me to be tall.
that work?
No, I don't think it does. I just think it's not. I mean, the hamburger thing. I think he was eating a lot of burgers. I don't know what the deal was. So could he have been drier just from not eating burgers? Probably. But no, I think the coach isn't really the problem. I think time is the problem. I think he just needs more time. That's all.
Because I got a lot of shit for I had him picked after the judging. 90% of the people said you're such a moron, you're a fanboy. I just like the shape, the structure, the size. I know condition-wise, muscle maturity, Kamal destroyed him at that show. Because Kamal's got 20 years of training, 30 years of training on the kid. He's gonna have all that detail. Derek's not gonna have that for a while. You can't rush that.
No, you can't. And I think the moment was almost too big for Derek. He might have gotten nervous. He might have spilled. He might have had cortisol issues. He might have had presentation issues. I don't know. But Kamal nailed it 100%. His presentation is impeccable. The way he poses, the way he hits everything. He's not a huge guy, but when he hits a front lat spread, you almost don't even see Derek. It's like, holy shit. How did Kamal's front lat? And Derek probably has the best back on stage.
Oh, yeah.
But Kamal's front lat spread was way more impressive.
Yeah.
So, all those things matter. The small, minute details at which Kamal nailed every single one of them. So I agree with him winning for sure.
Yeah. So congrats, Kamal. I'm not a hater, Kamal. I love you, Kamal. Classic, real quick. Were you surprised to see Bumstead finally beat Breon?
Yeah, I was surprised. Not because he didn't look awesome, but just because you got a guy who's a two-time champ and he makes improvements, comes back better, right, and then loses. You would never see that in bodybuilding. No. If Phil Heath, kept making improvements, he would keep winning. Where, this kid kept improving. I think, I saw an interview with Weinberger, and he just said it comes down to flow and classic lines. Like, when you think of classic, you think of Bumstead. The tall, wide shoulders, tiny hips, and he's got great legs. His condition was awesome. I think from behind, it wasn't even close. Like, not even close. I think Bumstead was probably fifth from behind. But he was so dominant in the side poses, the front poses, and he just has that look, so you can't really argue it. Had I been judging, and obviously Breon was the criteria for the last few years, so you basically just changed the criteria on us, or?
It sounded, I watched the thing with Steve that Dave did, and it seemed to me like Steve is saying, we're not going to judge this like bodybuilding anymore. We're going to judge it totally differently in shape and flow and structure and a vacuum, and that's going to carry a lot more weight. If they'd done that back in March, Steve Lorius would have beat George Peterson at the Arnold for sure.
Well, yeah. So that brings back a good point. If that's how you're judging it now, how does George end up third? Because he's a complete bodybuilder, right? Which George is unreal, and he deserves to be where he's at. But if you're judging strictly off of classic lines and whatnot, then I wouldn't have George be near that. He would be top 3 at the 212.
Yeah. So two of those guys from that lineup, George and Keon, recently announced they're all done with classic and they're going to 212. Do you think that's the right move for both of those guys?
Yeah, definitely. Because the judging just proved it. George is third in the world, 2-3 years in a row, and there's not much more he can do. Now he can come in bigger, and I think he's got like 10 or 15 pounds to play with. So in the
I think he was 192. He was 192, so he's got 20 pounds he could put on. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Imagine that.
That's the only way I could see him winning next year is if he comes in 20 pounds bigger. Yeah. Because I think he's almost your height, Ron. Like he's
5'8". He's right at. I used to be 5'8". He's right. I've talked to him because I'm always asking these guys, "What's your height? What do you have to weigh?" And 5'8", and I think it's 190 or 192 they have to be. Right. And Justin says he always has to lose a good 10 pounds of lean muscle to make weight.
Yeah. So you look at 5'8", 212 guys, and they look like basketball players. Yeah. So, I mean, Sammy was 5th or 6th in the 212. Sammy's right around that height, maybe an inch shorter.
Dugdale was about that tall.
Not quite 5'8". I think he's
maybe not
a little less, but 5'8" is going to be very tall on a 212 stage. Mm-hmm. So he's going to need every bit of that 20 pounds. But if he does in that same condition, we're going to have a story. That'll be very impressive.
Keon, same thing. I think Keon was only 180 for class.
What's he, 5'6", 5'5"?
On a good day, yeah.
Yeah, he can be unreal because he looks thicker to me than George. Like he looks like he can be like a mini Kai Green kind of looking guy.
Someone compared him to remember Thierry Pastel from France in the 90s?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Names very similar, but yeah, Kai. He reminds me of a lot of other people, but yeah, I think he's gonna be an excellent 212. And I feel like you could tell me if you agree or not. I feel like the 212 needs some more star power in it
Yeah.
because
Well, they're
we
gonna get it.
lost you, we lost Flex. I'm
Yeah.
sure the next couple of years we're going to lose a couple more of the older guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we
No,
need some.
that's exciting. I look forward to seeing. And Keon's pretty young, as far as I know.
24. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got plenty of time to grow to the top of that class. He doesn't need to weigh that much, but he looks very impressive. And that's exciting. That is kind of cool that they both realize that they're kind of limited in classic, and now they have somewhere else to go. That's kind of cool to me.
I mean, that's one thing you could say about. I can bitch and moan about so we have too many divisions now, but it also gives guys a chance if they want to grow. They can go from, classic to 212. If they feel like they're even bigger, they can go to open. If they don't want to train much, they can go back. They can be a men's physique. If they want to get even small, you can go all over the place now. You're a pro. You can do any division you want.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you guys have options now, which, back in your day when you started, there was one option.
Yeah. That's
Open
why I
bodybuilding.
didn't go pro.
That's why it was tough to go pro back then.
Yeah.
And the Open Mr. Olympia, would you have gone on your own dime if Phil was in it, Sean was in it, Rami was in it, Leonardowitz, Nathan, or were you just? I know you had other issues with your dog and everything, but were you kind of thinking like a lot of people this wasn't going to be a great Mr. Olympia contest?
No, it had nothing to do with that. I would have loved to gone. It didn't work out,
Right.
financially, and I couldn't just leave my wife with a sick dog,
Sure. Big 150-pound dog.
Yeah. But moving on to the Open, I think I did an interview with Palumbo, and I was adamant that Hadi was going to be top 3, if not better. And he was like laughing at me. He's way too
Really?
small. He's way too small. And
Small.
yeah, and I'm happy because everyone was kind of disagreeing with me. And then after I explained my points, I'm like, dude, if you saw him in person on stage in an open show like I did in Vancouver, you would agree with me because he's that impressive. And sure enough, even Dennis James said, "Yeah, Jose was right," and he is. I personally would have had Hadi winning.
Yeah.
He was that impressive to me, and I wasn't even there.
I don't think too many people would have argued if he won, honestly.
No, I don't either.
He was definitely the hit of the show as far as anytime that guy was on stage, people went ballistic.
Yeah.
Because he was a fresh face. We never saw the guy before. First time in the U.S. And I don't know how you can call him small. He's not a tall guy, no, but fuck, he's like you. He's a tank.
Yeah, he's got the best legs in bodybuilding right now. Everything flows well. He hits a front double. He's got a vacuum. He's another one like Kamal who hits every shot like impeccably.
Yeah.
He knows how to. It's like entertaining to watch him pose.
Right.
His quarter turns are like almost untouchable because there's so much to look at. And for my money, I thought he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I'd go out on a limb, and I bet you him and Bonac weighed around the same.
Probably, yeah. Probably right around 225.
No, I bet he 220 max, I bet.
Okay. Yeah.
But, and supposedly Bonac had been competing over 230 the last few years.
Did he look that much smaller to you, Bonac?
He did.
I wonder what happened.
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We're not going to speculate.
Right.
But, Brandon, I was at the Arnold and I was at the Olympia, and I thought he looked better at the Arnold in terms of condition. He was definitely a little. He put some size on since then, but I don't know. He was the best man. He was. I'm not arguing his win for 1 minute, but I was expecting a little more out of the Olympia champ as far as condition and everything.
I think had he looked like he did at the Arnold, it would have been a slam dunk, and there would have been no argument. He just was holding I don't know, like too much film. He had done an interview a few weeks prior to the Olympia saying that his weight wasn't dropping. It wasn't dropping. He's heavier than he's ever been. And by that interview, I had it in my head like, there's no way he's going to come in at his all-time best. Yeah. Regardless, he's got beautiful shape. He's you know, he was he I can't really argue with the win. Obviously, Steve knows better than I do. Um, but my personal preference would have been the more conditioned guy.
I mean, Hottie's legs also twice the size of Brandon Curry's legs.
Right, right.
If you're looking at the lower body, it's not even a. If you're going for a complete physique, I think
Yeah,
you'd
yeah.
pick Hottie.
But you know, I see what they did. You know, and he's a great guy. That's another thing. Like Brandon's awesome. He's well spoken. He immediately, like within 48 hours after the show, he was out giving speeches to football teams and young kids and trying to make an impact immediately. And I loved it. I loved seeing that immediately. So, you know, they made the right choice as far as, you know, being the representative. Unfortunately, that's not to say anything against Bonac or Hardy, but
No.
I think Brandon can do more to represent the title.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, let's be real. I mean, Bonac's English is sketchy. Hottie speaks no English, and he's got these massive hearing aids.
Yeah,
He's almost entirely deaf.
yeah, yeah,
So I don't know what he would have done with the title because he's going to be back in Iran.
yeah.
You know, I don't know. I've always had issues with that whole thing about Mr. Olympia has to be an ambassador and this and that, which I get. It makes sense. I get it, but does that mean you're not going to pick the best guy on stage that day because you don't think he's going to represent the sport well enough? He's not going to be able to go out and talk to kids and go on talk shows and stuff. You know, it's
No, I don't even think they consciously think about those things.
hmm,
But I think if it comes down to two guys or even three guys that are, you could make an argument for any one of the three.
yeah.
You pick the one that has a better feel good story and has a better, you know, he's done his homework. He earned it.
Yeah.
You know?
Got 4 kids. He's a family man. It was a good call. I'm not going to argue with the foreman.
Right.
Were you happy to see the women's bodybuilding, the Ms. Olympia coming back next year after that'll be 6 years it was gone when it comes back?
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's interesting. Um, you know, I don't know how that's going to work really because it has been an afterthought and gone and not so well promoted for so many years that there's not a new generation of female bodybuilders. You know, most of them are going to be in their 40s or 50s, you know.
Yeah.
Most of the girls that were doing that type of stuff are doing women's physique.
Right.
So I don't know.
Well, they have the athletes because you know the Wings of Strength shows, Tim Gardner shows, and a couple other ones have been featuring women's bodybuilding. There is a crop, but you're right. They're definitely the oldest division as far as probably average age of the pros competing in women's bodybuilding versus other divisions. I don't see too many women that look like they're under the age of 35. Put it that way.
Right.
35 to 50 seems to be like the average age range for these pro bodybuilder women.
Yeah.
But maybe now that's back in the Olympia, some of these younger girls will. Maybe a lot of them will move up from physique, just like a lot of them had to move down to physique when women's bodybuilding was on the way out.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll have a few that were on the border that were big for physique that'll move up. It'll be interesting. I'm definitely happy they have the platform and that what's that guy Jake Wood?
Jake Wood, yeah.
Putting up money and doing a great job, and as well as what the hell?
Linda?
Well, her too, but what's his name? Tim Gardner. I'm
Tim
sorry.
Gardner, yeah.
You know, he's a big a proponent of women's bodybuilding, so I'm definitely happy for them. It'll be interesting to see how it all works out. Is it supposedly the same weekend, or are they going to have their own weekend again?
I think they're going to put it with the Olympia weekend, but I don't know what's going to happen with his show because he's been putting on this thing called Wings of Strength Rising Phoenix for the past. I think this was the third year they did it.
Right.
And so that this year it was a week before the Olympia. I think first prize, I want to say it was like 75 grand cash. I'm not sure about the cash, but
cash in a new car.
Oh, it was a fully loaded Charger, like the top of the line racing kit and all that shit.
Yeah.
Wow. I want one of those.
I know.
All right. Enough about the Olympia. It's time to talk. Jose Raymond, you have a gym opening up. First of all, when? This is Metroflex Boston. When am I going to see this place?
So we don't have an exact date set. The construction has been busy every day. New stuff is happening. We were trying to rush it and get it open for the weekend of the New England's,
Right.
but we wouldn't even have the equipment all in by then. So we're definitely pushing for like after Thanksgiving, the weekend after Thanksgiving.
Awesome.
It's located in Malden, Mass, which is 15 minutes north of the city. It's a very big building. It's 40,000 square feet,
Wow.
and
It was a Stop and Shop or supermarket before, right?
right. It was a big building. It's been a few different things, but awesome location, plenty of parking, and the bodybuilding gyms are dying. I mean, there's only two that you can think of in the whole greater Boston area.
And isn't one closing? Yeah.
What's that?
Well, we got Bayshore that I go to.
Yeah.
And Greater Boston Fitness, where I used to train out of.
Yeah, it's still there. It's still open.
Yeah.
But there's only two of them. That really, the rest of them are all corporate gyms, and I hate corporate anything. I want to have a place for like-minded people that are serious about training, and it's not just going to be a meathead bodybuilder gym. It'll have all components: bodybuilding, powerlifting. We'll have a giant turf area that's like 30 yards by 15 yards for all functional training, and obviously tons of cardio, group exercise. We'll have a restaurant in there, pro shop. So I wanted it to be a one-stop shop where, if you come to the gym, you forget a pair of socks, you get a place to buy socks, a t-shirt, wrist straps, whatever you need, it'll be there for you. We'll have a big juice bar. We'll have, as I said, a restaurant. So you'll be able to go in, and hard body meals will be in there. If you want to come in the morning, order your breakfast, go work out, take a shower, it'll be ready when you get out. You can take 2 or 3 meals with you to work. So there will be, everything covered as far as the fitness community. And that's what I wanted. I don't want, how you go to one gym to train legs, and another gym to train shoulders, or another gym to do cardio. A lot of people have multiple memberships because that one place doesn't fulfill their every need.
I think our buddy Matt goes to like 20 different gyms, doesn't
he? Yeah, exactly.
Every post it looks like a different gym.
Yeah, and it'll be affordable. Trying to bridge the gap between the Planet Fitness and the Lifetime Fitness. Equinox. Those are like $150 to $200 a month, and then you have your $10 gyms, and you get a $10 workout. So I want to have it right in the middle to have all the amenities you need, and have it be affordable. So,
were you going to have a CrossFit gym inside there too?
So we have space to do that, but I actually we put a baseball school in there.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So
I have nothing against CrossFit, as you know.
I don't either.
My wife's a CrossFitter, so that's about $150 to $200 a month. Those gyms.
Yeah.
So it could have been some extra rent, but so you're talking about how it's going to be one-stop shop. You don't have to go to other gyms to train other body parts. So how did you go about? Because this is every meathead's fantasy. I'm going to open my own gym. It's going to have all my favorite equipment in it. How did you find the equipment for this place?
So I hand select everything. I go in, pick everything I want. And, I went through one distributor for the majority of things. And then I filled in all the other things I want. I wanted to get a monolift. So obviously, like, Life Fitness doesn't make a monolift. Hammer Strength doesn't make a monolift. So you have to go to like Legend to get a monolift. I want to get a Rogers pendulum squat, power squat, and nobody else makes that machine. So I know of a bunch of different machines that I've seen through the years that I want that isn't covered by one distributor. Right. So I have to reach out to them. Certain dumbbells that I want, and not everyone has them. So I individually reached out to every single manufacturer, and we'll have to do it that way.
Were there any lines that you really liked that you got a bunch of pieces from? Yeah,
Hammer Strength is huge because one, they've been around forever. Their stuff is basically indestructible, and they make almost every every machine for every body part. So a lot of it, I got a lot of selectorized, a lot of plate loaded through them, and then the rest is filled in with everything else.
Dumbbells up to 250. How much?
What?
The dumbbells.
Up to 200.
That's enough. That's plenty.
Yeah. If you can use more than that, then I'll go buy them for you.
You're not a human being. That's why.
Yeah. I spent about 2 hours in a Atlantis showroom gym up in Montreal this weekend.
Oh, wow.
Just going through every single piece and picking out different ones that I want, because I love their stuff. They've been around a while and they got great stuff. It's up in Canada, so it's not too tough to get it in.
Still, Dorian talked about this a long time ago with me. Said most gym owners just buy everything from one line because that's the cheapest thing to do.
It's garbage.
Yeah, one truck brings you everything you need, and that's it. But you're spending a lot more money, a lot more time to hand pick stuff. So I guess I'm moving to Malden, it looks like.
Yeah. I even am going through 3 different companies for the barbells.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'll have Rogue barbells, Texas barbells, York barbells. I'm going to get like 5 of each. And then whichever one I find that I like the best, I'll probably get some more to have in the back room.
I also heard a little rumor from one of your clients, my brother Dana, that you're planning on having big, huge like murals or I guess you'd call them murals, right? Of different people.
Yeah, I'm going to get paintings done, like really professionally done though.
Nice.
And so each time I have an event, I'll have that person memorialized in the gym.
Oh, wow.
And there's plenty of space for it.
So who's going to be the first 2 on the wall? You and McKella, obviously.
No, I'm not putting myself in there.
Jay Cutler.
Jay will probably be the first.
DLB. Yeah.
I would love to have DLB for sure.
We got plenty of room, plenty of wall space. You'll figure it out as time goes on, I'm sure. But
yeah,
that's pretty cool. That's not your average gym. They'll just paint like a line or something around the room and call it a day.
Yeah, there's plenty of space for it. So yeah. I already have the place marked out where it's all going to be.
So you're going to do a grand opening a little before Thanksgiving, a little after Thanksgiving, you think?
Probably the weekend after, when people are out Christmas shopping and be like, hey, let's go check this place out. So it'll be perfect timing for that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk. I definitely want to give some coverage, as much coverage as possible for that, because that's, this is a Metroflex gym. We need to emphasize that again. This is the chain. Obviously everyone knows Metroflex Arlington, Texas, but we've never had anything like that in this part of the country ever.
No. And they got a reputation for being, meaning business. That's why I like that particular franchise. And, I spoke to Brian Dobson and he's like, the sounds of it, you're putting in like a fitness mall or something, He's like, you got to have something hardcore. So there were certain things I had to agree with, which were the 200-pound dumbbells, got to have loud music, and got to have chalk. So I'm going to get big chalk bins with the rope. So, so people aren't carrying chalk all over the gym, but there'll be areas where you can chalk up.
Did they specify like at least 1 hour of Metallica a day or something like that?
Yeah. No. He didn't say anything like that, but he wants it to still be hardcore. So there will be a section for that. I have a section that's going to have over 2-inch thick matting, so you can throw dumbbells, bumper plates, and where you can slam deadlifts and do whatever you want. And that'll be like a section in the back, so it's not the first thing you see when you're coming in to join a gym.
And that might scare away some of the housewives that walk in looking to see what's up.
But we'll have it set up so they won't even have to go near that area.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Maybe MMA. You think about maybe put like an MMA area or something in there too.
So we have space to build out a spot. We don't have that right now, but first things first is getting it up and running, and we'll explore every other option as we go.
I'm not even sure how popular that is anymore, to be honest with you.
Well, it's plenty popular. There's jiu-jitsu schools all over the place, and if we find the right fit, then sure, I would do it. There's certainly a huge Brazilian population in Malden and Everett and the surrounding towns. So, it could work if need be.
Okay. I mean, I just want to go there for the weights. I don't care about any other stuff.
Yeah, no, you'll love the weights.
You got food too. I mean, that's all. Jeez,
Exactly. And we
weights.
just built a big posing room upstairs. We have like a mezzanine upstairs where all the
Wow,
offices are, and there's a big posing room.
wow. So
So,
people will be able to see their backs and everything.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's cool because most people we're going to the aerobics room around contest time trying to see
Yeah.
what's up.
Yeah. And
Ah,
I don't want them to have to do that. I don't want, you know, people to feel uncomfortable because there's bodybuilders everywhere posing.
yeah,
There'll be an area for that. And I don't want bodybuilders to feel weird posing,
yeah. I mean, you're in a thong. You're
Exactly.
not in front of regular people. It's probably not the coolest thing.
Right. It'll be hard to sell those memberships.
So I want everyone to make sure they follow along with the developments of this place. You have your Instagram for it. I believe it's called Metroflex Boston, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. Metro, it's Metro, all one word, guys. Metroflexbos. Metroflex Boss. Metroflex Boston. Wow, you already got almost 36,000 followers on it. And the newest picture shows this massive space. Looks like you could play football in there if you really wanted to.
Yeah, it's huge. We
Wow.
just ground down the floors. It's gonna be like real industrial looking. So once the locker rooms are done, then we'll put the last finish coat on it, so it'll look like a glossy cement industrial floor. Like,
Man, I'm super excited about this place, man. This is
yeah,
going to be
me too.
awesome.
Yeah, I'll
Because
keep you updated.
for me to drive all the way through Boston to the North Shore, I'm so lazy with driving nowadays. But this I'll make the drive for, no problem.
Yeah,
Absolutely, no problem. Cool, man. Well, that has been a great update, Jose. I appreciate you taking the time, especially with the Olympia, because I know it's been a couple weeks already. But I wanted to get your take on it, of course.
yeah, I appreciate that. I never went to an Olympia before I competed in it, and now I missed the first one after. So, it was a weird feeling not being there.
I can imagine. I can't. I've only been home from the Olympia like once over the past 10 years, and I was going out of my skull, like crawling in my skin, like I'm supposed to be in Vegas. I'm supposed to be in Vegas
I know,
the
I
whole
know.
time. It just feels weird,
Yeah,
especially when you're looking. Well, now we got Instagram and stuff. You're like, ah, shit, everybody's there. Everybody.
I know.
That would go out of my mind. But anyway, cool.
I'll be back.
Yes, you will. So check them out on Instagram. It's the THEE, two E's, the Boston Mass. And of course, Metroflex Boss. Keep up with what's going on with the gym. It's coming up next month, Thanksgiving weekend. I'm psyched. Everybody in the Boston area, New England area, we'll keep you updated, guys. I'll keep you updated on the MD boards and everything, but you gotta check the place out because any gym that Jose Raymond owns and operates is gonna be, dude.
I
It's
can't
gonna
wait.
be awesome.
I appreciate it, Ron. Thank you.
Congratulations. I know it's not done yet, but I'm saying congratulations because I'm
Yeah,
so psyched you're doing this.
yeah,
This is
me too.
everything I'd hoped you were going to do after you quote unquote retired, which
Yeah,
we're not really sure you retired
well,
yet.
I'm just getting started.
I know.
Yeah,
This is chapter 2.
yeah.
Cool, man. All right, Jose, thank you so much for taking the time. Thanks, guys, for watching the Ronline Report. This has been Jose Raymond. We'll see you next time.